Okay. So back to what's been happening on the field. The most impressive team you've seen in a bowl game so far.
Florida State.
Really?
I mean,
as a homer pick?
I don't know.
Florida State, huh?
Because I mean, a lot of people didn't have. I think I was looking at the ESPN thing that I think
the percentages of
86% people said that South Carolina would win. I don't know. I mean, I thought Florida State played good against a very, very top SEC school, and a lot of without Ponder. It just shows that next year should be a pretty decent year for Florida State. I mean, I said that this year, but I think
you say that every year.
Yeah.
But you say that every year.
I don't know. I just think Florida State surprised a lot of people. And,
I think they're going to be back at the top. Virginia Tech runs the ACC now, dude. They run it. They own it.
We'll see next year.
And the ACC is theirs. They hold it under lock and key.
Okay, we'll see.
Florida, one bowl win against the SEC team for Florida State doesn't mean they're ready to knock Virginia Tech off there.
Okay, it's about time. I mean, years Florida State ran the ACC.
I know.
So, I mean, it's about time.
Years Miami ran everything too. They've been years.
Ain't been a year. It hasn't been a year Miami ran ACC.
Maybe it's Duke's turn to run the ACC.
When has Miami run ACC?
Not the ACC, but they ran like the country in the Big East.
The U in the '90s maybe.
Yeah,
but but I like Florida State.
The most impressive team. It's hard not to go with Alabama.
Nah, that doesn't surprise me now.
It's hard not to go with Alabama, but I'm going to go a different route. I'm going to say Notre Dame. I mean, they're coming up. I think it was a huge, I think the bowl win for Notre Dame meant more, and I think you're going to see them just bounce back as a program from the last 3 or 4 years of mediocrity. It's probably been more than 3 or 4 years of mediocrity. They did go to the Sugar Bowl in 05 or 06. So it's been about 4 or 5 years now of mediocrity for Notre Dame. And I think you definitely could see Notre Dame start throwing their weight around in the national picture in the next couple of years with Brian Kelly. It was more of a statement win for their program, a big win, as opposed to Alabama. I mean, Alabama look impressive, and it's like, yes, they have a lot of talent. Yeah. Clearly, they are a very talented team. Mm-hmm. But does it mean that much for the program that they hammered Michigan State in the Capital One Bowl? No, it doesn't mean much. They're defending national champions. Which I came out and said that Alabama was going to come out and not care in this game because they're defending national champions.
Sure.
And a lot of them have the NFL draft are looking ahead to being NFL players, and I thought Michigan State was going to beat them today. But obviously, they let their talent do the talking today. So, to me, the win that impressed me the most and has me thinking, look out for this team in the next couple of years, is that Notre Dame over Miami win.
I agree. I like that. But we talk about a Miami team that's horrible. And
I know, but Miami could have come into that game one of two ways. They could have come into that game with the chip on their shoulder saying, my God, we are the guys. We're the bunch of guys that got our coach fired. We're not going to go out like that. We're not going to go out as the bunch of guys that got our coach fired and then got our butts kicked in this bowl game because we have no pride. But they didn't obviously come out that way. They came out like, we're the bunch of guys that got our coach fired, and we are just back that up with our performance today in this bowl game. And they didn't really have any life or play for anything.
So, coach on the move next year.
Coach on the move. Coach on the move. Coach on the move. God, it's very difficult. I like Chris Peterson eventually to leave Boise State. He's got to go eventually, right? He can't stay there forever. So I'm surprised. Like, how does a program like Florida or someone not go after make a run at him? A big time program. He's a guy that I would think he'd be the number one candidate on every list at every job opening.
I think
does he love Boise State that much?
I think Florida made one of the. I hate Florida, and it's funny. All the Florida fans say they don't. I love what they did. I like this pick. I think it's going to be good things for Florida.
Muschamp.
It's going to be great things for Florida. When it comes from a Florida State fan, I hate they made that pick, but I think Muschamp is going to do great things in Florida. But like I said, my guy on the move is
Patterson
Patterson
from TCU.
TCU, and I think he'll end up at maybe a Stanford or maybe or Michigan.
No, there's no guarantee that Rick Rod's going to be out though.
They got thumped today.
That doesn't mean anything. They still had a respectable season.
No, they did not. What are you talking about respectable? What are you talking about respectable season? Michigan.
They won 8 games.
But
It's 7 games.
Won,
yeah, you're right.
They won 3 or 5 in the.
You're right. This could be the end of Rich Rod.
Dude,
we said 8 that he needed to get, and he really only got 7 and thumped in this bowl game. That might be the end.
But I think they may give him one more year. Their defense is ferocious.
Yeah.
But Michigan's never had good defense.
This year, I mean, they give up 50 a couple times.
Their offense is okay. If I think give them one more year and they work on their defense, it can't get any worse than what it has been for the last 5 years.
Absolutely right. It cannot get any worse.
But I don't know. I mean,
there's a number of coaches that you can see on the move, but the problem is there's just not that many good jobs open right now.
Yeah, I mean,
where are you going to move up? Like, what's appealing to a young up and coming coach? What potential opening is appealing?
It depends on who's.
You're going to wait out Penn State. That's the one right there.
It depends on who's if a couple coaches are going if Harbaugh's going to the NFL, or
Stanford. That's a decent job. It's nothing huge. I mean, Maryland's open. Did Maryland make a hire? They might have made a hire.
They're looking at You see, they're looking.
Yeah, they're looking at the dude from New Mexico. One of the dudes from New Mexico.
Him and
is one of them.
Him and
that went 1-11 this year.
Him and Leach.
Oh, they're looking at Mike Leach.
Mike Leach. Yeah.
I would hire Mike Leach.
I would hire Mike Leach. He won't put
He's gonna put butts in the seats. Tell you that people weren't gonna go watch a team coached by Mike Leach because they move the ball up and down the field and there's all kinds of fireworks and it's exciting. Miami made a hire. Al Golden from Temple. So Miami's out. That would have been a job to see. Like Miami, why not make a run at Chris Peterson? A guy like Chris Peterson.
But we don't
save your program.
We didn't know if all of those.
Maybe
guys,
they did.
Yeah, and they said no. I wonder who. Someone
have to make a run at him. Kyle Whittingham from Utah. Why are guys?
I don't know.
That's the thing. These once amazing jobs just don't. They just don't look that good anymore, But because, like you said, they're all making a comfortable living.
But here's the thing, they can hold steady because not in the past 10 years those jobs very rarely open. Now those jobs open all the time. I mean, it's like how often do you get a Michigan, a Florida, a Miami, a Florida State open it up? I mean, now it's
just in the last 2 years, Florida State, Miami, and now Florida have changed coaches.
I know, so it's like all these major schools. In the last 5 years, Michigan, So I mean,
Nebraska.
Name
a team, and you'll find that they've changed coaches recently. Pretty much every single team.
I mean, it's like
Ohio State hasn't. Wisconsin's been.
Well, Tressel's gonna be there forever.
Yeah, Tressel, he will be there forever. I mean, look at these programs. There's nothing good that I think. No great programs coming up that I think is going to have an opening soon.
Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh has an opening. Yes, but is Pittsburgh the type of program that a guy like a Chris Peterson or Patterson or a Kyle Whittingham is going to leave their great, like, they're gods there.
No,
because you're taking a team up like that, then you're God.
Yeah, but yet you lose one game, you're done. You lose one game in Pittsburgh, you lose 5 games in Pittsburgh, you still can win the Big East and see yourself on national TV.
Yeah, but no one cares. Still, Boise State lost 1 game this year. There's still national news. It's national news that they lost the game.
When Boise State lost that game, no one cared about Boise State. No one.
No anymore, but they still were a national story
because they lost,
and the way they lost was a story too. I'm just saying, it's not Pittsburgh. To me, if I'm at Boise State, Pittsburgh, I don't look at Pittsburgh and say, "Oh my God, those are greener pastures for me." No, I do not.
Yeah, I agree.
Pittsburgh doesn't give you. Chris Peterson doesn't have a better chance of winning the national title at Pittsburgh than he does at Boise State. I don't think he does.
Yeah, I guess so.
The only thing you got to be looking at is like is like the next great job opening is going to be a Penn State when Joe Paterno leaves, something like that. You know, unless one of these guys, a Michigan, like you said, a Michigan could be one, but that's 2 jobs. West Virginia does now have an opening, actually.
Really?
Because Bill Stewart is out.
Oh, wow, really?
Yes.
Reunite.
Bring Rich Rod back.
Bring Rich Rod back.
I don't know if they'd be that interested in doing that, to tell you the truth.
Bring Rich Rod back, man. Are they still paying him? aren't they?
I don't think so.
No?
I don't think so. They didn't fire him. They did not fire him. He left.
He left. Sure.
They sued him to get the money back.
Right.
He's had to pay them, I think, actually, I think it's the other way around. They wanted him to pay them back.
I like that. I mean, that's...
But, yeah, West Virginia said Bill Stewart's out. I think they might have already moved up. They just had we're way past the time on this one. But it'll be interesting. Like I agree with what you said earlier, though, about the fact that, you know, back in the day when Joe Paterno and Bobby Bowden first started and they were coached for 50 years, it wasn't like they were making multi-million dollars
exactly.
and high pressure and coaches getting fired all the time, which is, if you're in a good situation, you know, you're Chris Peterson at Boise State and you look at all these jobs and see these coaches, you know, biting the dust year after year and failing, you don't want that to be you.
But it comes to a point where
obviously you have confidence in what you do. But
it comes to a point where, like I lost a lot of respect when they did to Bobby Bowden last year. It comes to a point where you have to take out wins and losses and let the guy do it. Like, I'm loving what Penn State's doing with Joe Paterno. When he leaves, let him leave when he leaves. Mm-hmm. I mean, but I don't know. We'll see.
It's just if he's like embarrassing the program at some point, you say.
But he can go. I think he can go 3-10. They're like, leave when you want to leave.
I agree. As long as he's not like having fits on the sideline and doing like saying stuff he shouldn't be saying and stuff like that. Yes, you know.
But
I don't think it's going to come to that for Penn State though.
No.
They're going to be pretty solid. They do what they do, and they still recruit. They still do everything necessary to be a national player. Just this year, obviously, they had a very young team.
Yeah.
So